So, just going through the first of these videos, boxing and wrestling together. This one was May, and the date, oh yeah, May's on the side. May 1953, this one. May 1953 edition, boxing and wrestling. And it's got Randy Turpin, who, like a lot of boxers, did retire. This is about his boxing days in the 50s, but later on he would retire and did go into wrestling. Got a lot more injuries, I reckon, in the wrestling than the boxing, even though obviously the boxing's real and the wrestling ain't. But obviously what they do is quite amazing. Got a story of John Morrissey, old bare knuckle fighter who fought C. Heenan, etc. Good stories in there. So we're going to go straight in. A bit in this. So yeah, I mean, you get a lot of these advertisements in here, but there's your first one. Young Jack Dempsey there, and John L. Sullivan. Bit of a right up there. And straight away you got a bit of wrestling in there. With Stanley Zbyszko and the Great Gamma. That took place in Bombay. Obviously he come to this country also. I think he fought Hackensmick. This is the real wrestling, real grappling, etc. Bit of historical. Obviously it was running circuses, etc. So you'd have to show stuff. The the usual show stuff, but you'd also have a shoot wrestler who, if you got any hecklers from the crowd, you could use this man to make this guy beat this guy, which they would call shoot fighters, and the kayfabe would be used, or the the imaginary stuff. But yeah, but Gamma was, he had thousands of fights, Great Gamma, and he's still got a stone in India. It took about 25 guys to lift. He did Palwani wrestling, which was in sandpits, etc. And yeah, quite a lot of heritage and history in that. The sort of training, they do things like called dans and pathaks, which you do thousands of them a day. Their wrestling was really high in the stamina and on the body. The Great Gamma there against Stanley Zbyszko, back in the golden era of wrestling. So we're going to go to the boxing there. So you got Nardico. So the only man to stop LaMotta, I think he was. Yeah, he did stop LaMotta in the 7th round. It says here actually, Danny Nardico. LaMotta probably one of the best chins of all time. And yeah, a few pictures of the fights there. Walter Cartier draws blood from Perrier Langios. And then you got Gil Turner attacking Joe Miceli. Got Ralph Tiger Jones there. Again, loads of great fighters there. Vince Martinez there. And then, yeah, loads of fighters here. Danny Woomba getting ready to attack Johnny Saxton there. Tony Camino. He fought Gamley with his right eye closed and was beaten by Marcel Brisbois in the semi-finals. Danny Joe Perez and Dennis Pat Brady. And an Englishman called Johnny O'Sullivan displays his versatility and technique, stopping plucky Irving Schultz in their bout. Marvin Edelman, a Philly middleweight, or Philadelphia middleweight, threatens no good to. He threatens no good to Charlie Red Williams at East Parkway Arena. Fabella Chavez landed an awkward, unexpected hand on Proboscis of Red Top Davis at the Gardens. A good way they write, interesting way they write these. Bob Baker, good old heavyweight there. Bob Baker pulls away from the right hand, exploded by Bill Gillum, which barely grazes the chin. Baker was the winner. And Jimmy Carter, he was to be the lineal lightweight champion a few times. Holds a record of the most times winning that lineal lightweight championship. Chico Verjar was impressive in stopping newcomer Italo Scorticini when the latter's left eye was completely closed. Harold Johnson. So again, yeah, Harold Johnson, great old light heavyweight there. But that isn't, yeah, that's Harold Johnson, I know. Yeah, there was a son and dad actually fought Jersey Joe Walcott. Quite a first in history, that. Hard left by Jill Turner, practically invincible, forced the head of Body Dykes backwards. Turner won the fight decisively. Bobby Jones left, and Willie Troy staged one of the greatest fights seen locally in a long time. Jones lost a slim margin. And here we go, the Cuban Hawk, Kid Gavallian. Like the bolo punch, Kid Gavallian. Chuck Davey had winced expression on his face as the Cuban Hawk studies the situation, poised manner. Yeah, really likes a good bolo punch there. Tragedy stalks Davey as he is pounded to the ropes, and the ninth round was floored 3 times. And the finish. Final knockdown catapulted Davey to complete submission and proved his gameness in the finish. There you go. Roland the Starzer. So yeah, this Roland the Starzer would hold Rocky Marciano to a close decision on his way up in a non-title fight, but would then get stopped by Marciano when he fought him, when he defended his title against him. But Rex Lane, another Marciano opponent. And you got Kenny Overlin, who fought Ezra Charles, and manager Chris Dundee. Dundee now promoter, Miami Beach. Jefrano Garcia, the Philippine who fought Henry Armstrong at middleweight when Armstrong went for his 4th title out of 8 weight divisions, and it was a draw. He would have won, but he lost a lot of points, or few points, through low punches against Garcia. So yeah, Garcia Jafrano Garcia got that draw. Henry Armstrong coming up from the featherweights, title wise, but he come up from lower weights. Some say he might have started lighter than they thought at flyweight because he went under a few different names. So all the way up to middleweight, it's quite something. But he won featherweight titles, lightweight titles, and welterweight. And Jafrano Garcia was the man to stop him coming the 4-time lineal undisputed champ. So a bit about Chris Dundee there. Miami Beach. I think about Angelo. But Jersey Joe Walcott. Cracking. Ray Arnold Crean, his real name. Won the title when he's 37. Some say he was really severely robbed when he put Joe Lewis down twice when he had the title, and Lewis walked out and thought he lost, but then was told the decision that he won. But then same deal again, like I was talking earlier with Lastaza and Marciano. In the rematch, these both title fights though, in the rematch Joe Lewis did the business on Jersey Joe, but later he would come back and win the title against Ezra Charles in a beautiful knockout. One of the best knockouts I've seen, actually. Yeah, always changing his rhythm. Jersey Joe Walcott, cracking champion. Yeah. And also he put Marciano down and losing the 13th round when he fought him. But then would fight Marciano again and get stopped in the first round. But again, that's a classic photo because it shows you in that naughty little shot. Hit him with a right hand. You see his face like a puppet, Jersey Joe Walcott. But then he hits him with that naughty little cheeky left on the ground. Classic Marciano. And there's Ezra Charles being counted out, the greatest light heavies ever. I think he beat. A lot of people regard Archie Moore as the greatest light heavyweight, but some people forget that Ezra Charles beat Archie Moore 3 times and stopped him the last time. But obviously, resume-wise, Archie Moore would have that title, light heavyweight title, for 10 years, where Ezra Charles didn't really stay down there and do the same as him. But he won the title at heavyweight, defended a few times, then lost it. He beat Walcott, then lost to him. They had quite a few fights. I think it was 4, might be wrong, but it's 4 at least they had. So the beautiful boxer Joe Gans, beautiful fighter. He could box in any time. The story goes that he put a piece of meat up and the flies around it he would try and catch and let them go, or box them and hit them for hand speed. Vince Dundee fences off Joe Jebby, so I'm going to leave that there and finish off on the next video. Bang. That's the end of the first Boxing and Wrestling magazine videos.